Hi everyone, Buffany Boy Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a new various artists review of Black Panther, the album Music From and Inspired By. This record over here is a Top Dog Entertainment curated and crafted set of songs, a soundtrack of sorts for the new Black Panther film, which has been getting rave reviews from fans and critics alike, quickly being regarded as one of the better Marvel films out there. And the soundtrack has been turning heads in the music industry because of the Top Dog Entertainment connection, because artists like Kendrick Lamar are all over this thing, dropping a ton of new original verses and songs, so of course people are going to be hyped for this thing, as was I, but mostly for the movie itself, because some of the teaser tracks to this thing I thought just kind of sounded like a simplified, overblown version of the thoughtful, cutting-edge pop rap that I've enjoyed thus far from the TDE camp, especially on like All the Stars, which is not a terrible track, but the only moments I really am wowed by on this track are SZA's contributions. All the stars are closer. Like, her singing on that hook, especially when the beat drops in, it's just such a perfect combo. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's epic, it's exciting. But vocally and lyrically on this track, it does kind of feel like Kendrick is phoning it in just a little bit. Like he's just kind of here on this album for the check or something. I mean, it does sound better than a lot of low-grade SoundCloud rap you can find out there, and I get that he's consciously trying to keep it simple because at the end of the day, these are just supposed to be big, grand, catchy, straightforward songs for a blockbuster comic book movie. It's not to pimp a butterfly, which is smart on Top Dog Entertainment's part to essentially tailor the creativity to the job that it is supposed to accomplish. But I feel like that hinders this album's likability as a standalone piece. Because for the most part, this album is about repetitive phrasing and slick flows and banging instrumentals that occasionally have a kind of dark progressive edge, like on the opening track, which features all these sad, elegant pianos. Vocally, I feel like this is one of Kendrick's better performances on the record, and lyrically, I think he says a lot about being a king, being a hero, being a standalone figure, while also deeply tying into the movie itself. I also love the heavy drums on this track, and the warped thumb pianos that introduce themselves in the second half. One of the handful of moments on this album that come off legitimately trippy and experimental. And the beat on the track Ops with Young and Blackrock and Vince Staples is insane. These rumbling, driving beats. Some freaky effects and vocal overdubs on this track too. It's easily one of the weirdest things on the entire record. Even if I do find some of the refrains on here, "You dead to me," to be a little obnoxious. There are a few tracks on here that seem to meld elements of contemporary R&B and trap, like I Am, featuring Georgia Smith, whose vocal performance here seems like it's got a lot of emotional weight to it, but I find her voice to be kind of nondescript. Also the track The Ways, featuring Khaled and Sway Lee of Ray Sremmurd, which is a kind of dreamy, bouncy, intoxicating ballad, very relaxing, but also kind of sleep-inducing. Really, of all of the newer names and faces here in the features list, the one that really stood out to me had to be Paramedic, the SOB RBE track. These kids are from the Bay Area. They had an album last year that was kind of a mess. It was a compilation of singles that had dropped throughout the year, it seemed like. And they have so much energy and personality on this track. They're just wild. There's like this weird muddy chime or Casio keyboard sample that plays throughout the track, and the song brings this groove that only a group from this area in the West Coast could bring. Trunk knocking beat, great chorus from Kendrick, but it is one of the tracks on the album that I sit here thinking like, what does this really have to do with the movie? I mean, it's good, it's fun, it's catchy, but is this connected to the Black Panther universe? My favorite banger on this thing has to be the song X, though, with Schoolboy Q. Schoolboy's verse on there is awesome. Love the funny, humble reference that he makes in his verse. I also like the very minimal but groovy Bloody Waters with Ab Soul. That one line he drops in there about warfare and then asks, "Is war fair?" Love that. That's so good. The only TDE member that kind of underwhelmed me on this thing had to be J-Rock. I mean, his verse to me felt a little vapid, a little loaded with filler. Like, I know he can write more lines. I know he can write better than this. This is ready, that is ready. This is ready, that is ready. I gotta go get it. 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 And the more I listened to it, the more I felt like the Future feature on this track. Like, at first it was interesting, but now I just feel like it's trash. Like, his awkward singing on the track and that ugly, hideous, raspy falsetto. Again, when I first heard the track, I thought it was kind of unique. I thought it was a good change of pace for him, but as I kind of repeated it again and again and again, it just felt like Future challenging the idea of, man, like how little can I do and still get paid? On the song Redemption, Zakari's vocals are as much of a turnoff for me as they were on Love from Kendrick's last album, but it is one of several tracks on here that spotlights in a really big way some great African talent, which actually does bring this project quite a bit of personality and a certain uniqueness that no other TDE project has. There are musical influences coming from the same place popping up all over the record as well, and I would say overall, for a project that has so many features and guest artists on it, it does not really sound like a mess at all. Even when I don't like a particular track, it is structured pretty well at the very least. Most of the people that appear on this record bring a great performance and have their own unique, I guess, sort of spot on the album that it seems like only they shine. I especially loved the surprise appearances on here from Anderson .Paak and James Blake. Honestly, I was more let down by some of the core voices on this record, mainly Kendrick Lamar, because on here I feel like once again he is kind of lyrically underperforming and occasionally trailing off into these faux deep conceptual detours like in the last moments of King's Dead. Still though, this album is mostly enjoyable. It's not that bad. It's just kind of a loose collection of tracks that are a little hit or miss. They just happen to all be tied together by a big blockbuster film. The best things that this project probably has going for it, the production and the features, many of which are very interesting, very exciting, some of which give very compelling performances, introspective ones even, like on the song Seasons, and I'll leave it at that. I'm feeling a light to decent 6 on this thing. Transition. Have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like, please subscribe, and please don't cry. Just leave a thoughtful comment in the comments if you're feeling like you're full of thoughts. Over here next to my head is another review you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, forever.